What's going on, NFL world? This is your boy Niner Game Podcast in here with another video. Now, this one is not necessarily based on the 49ers as you see the title of the video. This is about the young man, Sheduer Sanders. So I wanted to do this video because I felt compelled to talk about some things, just as far as his journey and what's been going on with him just in the NFL and whatnot since he's arrived. So the Browns have finally done it. They have finally, without question, named Sheduer the starter for Week 11 with no other choice due to Dillon Gabriel being in concussion protocol. Now, when Sheduer went into the game, against the Ravens, it didn't look good. 4 of 16 with an interception and 2 sacks taken that lost 27 yards. But there's a reason for that. Kevin Stefanski literally doesn't like the kid. The saga has been ongoing ever since he was drafted in the 5th round. He wouldn't even allow him to take snaps with the starting offensive line and made it clear it was all about Dillon Gabriel. The offensive line came out after the game and stated they didn't even know or understand his cadence. If you don't know what a cadence is, it's basically the way that you talk, the way that you speak, the things that you say at the offensive line to make them understand what you're going to do. Whether they need to hike the ball, whether you're sliding protection. There's a variety of different things that go into a cadence. But how can a young man build rapport with his offense in general if he has no reps? Now, this week there was no option. They're giving him first team reps with the week of practice. So this is a massive week for the kids in general, and here's why. This is his one and only shot to make an impression. That's undeniable to the eyes of the fans, front office, fellow teammates, and to the world. Now, I know what you're going to say. Why is it like that when the young man is just a rookie? When your draft process goes the way his did, and you fall to the 5th round, you got to treat it like 8 Mile. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow because opportunity comes once in a lifetime. They got rid of Flacco. They got rid of Pickett, which opened the door, right? Wrong. Stefanski wouldn't even name him the backup. They were talking about Bailey Zappi and how Sheduer could only run the scout team, all of these things. Stefanski found a way, found any way as far as to, as a roadblock to make sure this guy didn't make it. Shout out to the Dogs podcast. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and play a video for you. They were the ones that I found this on. And I find this to be literally appalling that this coach did this. And it tells me exactly why Sheduer has had, the roughest start that he's had. So for this one, oh, it went away. Okay, cool. Give me just a second, guys. I had it up and then it moved. So let me do that for you. All right. So let me unmute.
Finally start to clear up all of the questions and speculation surrounding Sheduer Sanders and Dillon Gabriel and the quarterback situation in Cleveland with Kevin Stefanski. This is from Albert Breer, called into 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland the other day, and he said from his understanding, Kevin Stefanski reportedly privately told offensive coaches on his staff that this would be a scheduled red shirt season for Sheduer Sanders. However, after Flacco's trade and Dillon Gabriel's struggles, it certainly seems like other prominent members of the organization want to see what they have. And that, to me, would indicate Andrew Berry trading away Joe Flacco when Kevin Stefanski made Joe Flacco the QB2 behind Dillon Gabriel instead of Sheduer Sanders. So
let me stop it right there. Did y'all hear everything that man just said? He purposely said this would be a red shirt year for Sheduer Sanders. Told everybody on the offensive staff, basically in so many words, don't put no stock in this kid. Don't put no faith in the kid. He ain't playing, no matter what. When you're on a team as a young quarterback and your head coach has it out for you, that sucks. You go to Cleveland, you walk in there just as humble as all get out. Now, I will say this. I know that everybody talks about his draft process and all of the things that happened. Look, unless you were in the room all of this is speculation. People are talking about it. We don't know whether this happened or not. We don't know whether he did walk in with headphones. We don't know if he got pissed off in New York. We don't know of any of the things that they say that happened because we weren't physically there to be able to state such. And, it's not like these people have come out and stated this. This is all rumors. This is all hearsay. Oh, I talked to this person who talked to this person who talked to this person that said this is what he did. Stories can get lost in translation as much as you want, and a narrative can be painted about you, without your consent, with people not knowing what really happened. People could say things about me behind my back. I wouldn't know, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that those things are true. And for your head coach to come out and have it out for you and tell everybody this is going to be a red shirt year for you, that means that your coach never wanted you at all. He had no faith in you. And a lot of people speculated, even me, that Kevin Stefanski was doing this because he afraid of losing his job to Deion Sanders. He thinks if Sheduer comes in and starts and looks good, Deion's going to come running to Cleveland. Deion got enough to worry about in Colorado, okay? If there's one thing that a college head coach has to do to be able to make it to the NFL, it's win. Now, mind you, Deion Sanders is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live, my favorite football player of all time. But with the record that he got in Colorado and what's been going on, he ain't making no jump to the NFL anytime soon. There's nothing against him. You know what I'm saying? I still got a lot of love for Deion. He still, to me, is, my favorite NFL player of all time. That will never change. I love the fact that he's there, that he's got the mindset to try to do what he's doing. But honestly, right now, just Colorado ain't looking so good. So you got to make that look good. You got to put Colorado in the contention. Colorado got to be in the top 25. They got to be, contending for national titles before somebody come calling for Deion and come to the NFL. And he stated on several occasions that he wouldn't want to coach in the NFL. Why? Because you're coaching grown men with their own money and want to do their own thing. And they don't want to listen, at least from his perspective. I can't remember where the clip was, but he stated this on NFL Network years ago. It was either NFL Network or it was on a podcast that he said this. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, it's just that this tells me right there, as a player, that's frustrating. I got to sit here in a place where the head coach don't want me to have no success. He wouldn't even name me the backup. He was talking about our technical scout team quarterback, Bailey Zappi, who has done nothing in this league to deserve to start over anybody. They were talking about him possibly being the backup. I know everybody looks and, the pantomime thing and other stuff like that, but that's frustration, man. At some point, you just got to understand it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But let me get the rest of the video going.
How do the Browns get Sheduer Sanders moved up the depth chart? Simply remove Joe Flacco from the equation. It seems to me like there is no longer alignment on this situation between the coaching staff and the front office. And from the beginning, it was speculated that Sheduer Sanders was not a Kevin Stefanski pick, but it was an Andrew Berry pick. And it seems right now we have a bit of a power struggle between.
Now, that right there tells you everything you need to know. Andrew Berry saw something in the kid. So we all know, look, there's nothing against Browns fans. Browns fans know this. They'll tell you this. Heck, one of the biggest Browns fans in the world is Steve Harvey. And he'll tell you they've been sucked. They sucked for years. But when your GM and your head coach are not on the same page about a guy, that's not a good thing. Which is why he just said power struggle. You can't turn around and draft a kid and then put that kid in the room with the head coach, and the head coach goes, I don't care what you did. I ain't doing nothing with him. I refuse. I will not. No, thank you. Now, the Browns have already done something stupid, and given Deshaun Watson all that money, and Deshaun Watson has basically robbed him for every bit of it. Because he's not on the field. He's done nothing. He's just lived on the injury list. And then when he did play, he didn't look good. So they're just hoping and praying that when they finally get him off the books, it'll free up money for them to do things. But you got to get your O-line together. You know what I mean? You got to get some receivers. You got to do some things, and we'll talk more about that. But that definitely is a bad deal for Sheduer when the GM wants you, but the head coach don't. And the GM ain't gonna listen to the head coach, obviously, because he hasn't listened to him thus far.
And Kevin Stefanski wanting his guy, Dylan Gabriel, to continue to be the starter for the Browns this season, and Andrew Berry in the front office wanting their guy, Sheduer Sanders, to go out there and show what they might have in him for the future. So again, this report is nothing crazy. It just kind of confirms what we were already speculating was probably the case. But it is interesting to hear that Stefanski had reportedly told his staff that this would be a scheduled redshirt year for Sheduer, which explains why he's gotten no reps, no practice, no opportunities all the way back to minicamp, because he was never intended to play this season.
So what does that tell you? This, and the reason I trust this podcast is because they always come up on my feed and they're always just dropping information about the Browns. And for me, I'm sorry, if you look at that and you see that, how can you deny that Kevin Stefanski don't have it out for the kid? How can you deny that Kevin Stefanski kicked himself in the butt by continuously putting Dylan Gabriel out there to do much of nothing? Now, mind you, Brown season's been a little up and down. They've had some close losses. They've had some blowout losses. You know what I'm saying? Heck, they only got 2 wins on the dang season as it is. You know what I mean? But it's extremely frustrating, you know what I'm saying, when that happens to you as a player. Now, I can only compare this situation to another situation for a small bit of context, using my current head coach and his father. When Kyle and Mike were in Washington, they were forced by Dan Snyder to draft Robert Griffin III, a QB they didn't want. The owner wanted that, but, they wrapped around in where, oddly enough, the 5th round. And that's where Sheduer Sanders was drafted. But the person they drafted, they got Kirk Cousins. So what happened? They did what the owner wanted. They wrapped around and got their guy. RG3 had one good season, made the playoffs, and after that, things were never the same. Now RG3 is literally on YouTube or ESPN or doing commentary. He's not even in the NFL anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I want to state with that is, I'm not stating that Kyle Shanahan and Mike Shanahan were the reason that RG3's career didn't continually progress. But what I'm stating is, the same way Dame won RG3 is the same way Stefanski didn't want Sheduer Sanders. The only difference is they had no choice. They had to get RG3. They had to start him. They had to build a game plan around him because that's what Dan Snyder wanted. Haslam didn't come out and state that about Sheduer Sanders. So Stefanski basically could do with him whatever he pleased. He had the luxury of being able to basically bench the kid and do what he said. You coming out with a redshirt year for the kid, and you ain't even seen what he got. You know what I'm saying? We have fake injuries. We have him being written off as a healthy scratch, all that stuff. But to me, that's just a crock of you know what, because you're basically just counting the kid out, and it truthfully isn't fair. But one thing you can't say about Sheduer is, that he's done anything wrong. He's been a model citizen, character-wise, and in the locker room. Hell, after the game, the man got up at the podium and implored people to an extent to give Dylan Gabriel a break and embrace him. There are videos of him talking to Cleveland media, asking why there's so much negative commentary from them. What has he done to deserve such? Sheduer is a very humble person, and his confidence in himself is sadly being mistaken for arrogance, which is horribly wrong. I believe the kid has talent. We just need to see it. Now, 1 week won't be enough, but with his circumstances, he will have to be great. And I believe he'll be a lot better after practices with the guys. The city loves him. His teammates love him and believe in him. And the fans love him. So get behind your QB1 for the moment and enjoy the ride. Now, this is the perfect thing for him to do, to be able to start versus the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of it. You get a chance to start versus one of the bad teams in the league. So it gives you the opportunity to get out there and get a real feel for the game, start understanding things, see things for what they are. And typically you want to do that. I'll give you a perfect example. Pretty sure Brock Purdy could have played against the Rams. But the Rams defense is ferocious. So instead of him trying to knock the rust off against a crazy, ferocious defense, let's let him knock it off against the middle of the road defense with the Cardinals. And look what happened. You get 41 points. Simple. So for me, when I'm looking at it, it's the perfect team for him to go up against. Both teams are 2-8. Neither team is world beaters or doing anything crazy. But if I'm Kevin Stefanski, what I do is I go a little heavier on the run and a little lighter on the pass. I take my first half game plan and I say to myself, okay, let me see what I can do with the kid. Let me see what he understands, what he doesn't understand. Is he good at making reads? Is he good at doing checks? Do I let him audible at the line? Like things like that. You do simple things because you just want to get him into a rhythm. You want to try to figure out what's going on. And on top of that, you know what I'm saying? If he looks good in the first half, that means you should be building a game plan for how things go. Okay, hey, if he's looking like he's struggling a little bit, okay, we're going to kind of go this way. Or if he's doing this, we're going to go that way. Like you got to have with a young rookie quarterback, you need to have a plan A, B, and C, possibly even D. You don't want to just put him out there and have a game plan A, and if game plan A don't work, hey, it is what it is. Now, mind you, with everything that I just, showed you guys, with everything that I just talked about, you got to hope that Stefanski ain't literally going to go out there and put a game plan together that's going to show this kid's weaknesses. Your job as a head coach is to play to your quarterback's strengths. Not every quarterback is good at everything. Some quarterbacks lack in certain areas. They have certain things they can and cannot do. So you figure out what it is they can do, play to those strengths, and make sure that works. And you leave the onus on the defense that's playing that quarterback to figure it out. You don't go out there and, self-sabotage. That's what you don't do. So when you take a look at the Browns, you take a look at what they have, and, you look at the numbers, things aren't necessarily the greatest, but they aren't necessarily the worst. So if you come in, you take a look at it, Quinshon Judkins, the man has 157 carries, 620 yards. He's got 5 TDs. He has 3.9 yards per carry. Those stats aren't bad. If you're averaging about 4 yards a carry as a rookie, that's good. So you feed Quinshon Judkins. You try to balance this out. You're going to go half run, half pass, or you're going to go just a little heavier on the run to take a little bit of the load off of Sheduer. But you still have to be able to give him enough to be able to see what he can and can't do, to see how he processes the game. Since you've unfortunately been stupid and held this kid back the whole year, not giving him a chance to do anything. So when you come look at it, like I said, Quinshon Judkins is a viable back. You still got Jerome Ford back there if you need him. And then when you come in, you take a look at the receiving. Mind you, once again, the Browns are not the best offensive team in the league. Their defense is solid. Don't have no issues on that side of the ball, especially with a game record and by the name of Myles Garrett. But what I can say is when you're looking at it from an offensive standpoint, you got a couple of dudes here and there. You know what I'm saying? You have your David Njoku. You have your Jerry Jeudy's. You've got a Cedric Tillman. Right now, the leading receiver on the team is Harold Fanning with 422 yards. None of these receivers have broken the 500-yard mark. Jerry Jeudy's got 356, and Njoku's at 288, Tillman's at 169. You know what I mean? So this deep into the season, those numbers should be a little bit higher, but because of the quarterback play, you can only do so much. So when you take a look at that just from an offensive standpoint, that's where we're focusing. Njoku has 3 TDs. So if I'm Sheduer Sanders, I'm looking at, what we have here, and I'm saying to myself, I'm going to key in on my playmakers. And heck, if they throw a guy in that I had to run scout team with or anything like that, I can even look at that dude because me and him have built some kind of rapport. You've got to build continuity with this kid, with the offensive line, with the with the receivers, with the tight ends, with the running backs, all of those things. You've got to build a rapport. And then at the same time, you've got to understand that the city loves the kid. When he went into the game, the roar of the crowd was crazy. Everybody loved him. I mean, the kid went out into the community when he first got there and started doing things for the community. Going to the hood. doing certain things. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is, people love him. The team loves him. Kevin Stefanski, why do you hate him? What is your problem? You need to be able to atone for your sins and holding this young man back. Give him a game plan that's going to make him right. Now, Kevin Stefanski was a 2-time coach of the year. You know what I'm saying? And yes, he's a great offensive coordinator. But at the end of the day, for you to do what you've done so far with the handling of Sheduer Sanders is completely egregious and it's deplorable. I'm sorry if you do this, man, and this kid comes out there and shines to a point where you have no choice. If you the depth of this is if Sheduer Sanders comes out there and shines, say he handily beats the Raiders, say he just breaks them off. You know what I'm saying? Say they come out and put up a good 30, 40 points, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that's going to happen. This is all hypothetical. Say they do this. Could you imagine Sheduer Sanders being benched and Kevin Stefanski losing that locker room, going back to Dillon Gabriel? I could see it. I could see him losing his own locker room out of sheer stupidity because he won't give in. Some talents are undeniable. Just nothing you can do, man. Some people are just gifted. You know, in track and field, when you see a dude, he may not have the best form. He may not, practice well. But when he gets on that track, he will blow you out the water. We just call that guy getting speed. There ain't nothing you can teach. Now, you can tighten it up. You can tighten up the form. You can do other things. It's going to decrease the time. It's going to make it a little bit better for you. But there are some times where dudes are just blazingly fast. And you just got to, you understand it. But you got to be able to coach that up to a point to say, hey, I know you got the guy giving speed. Let me fine tune a couple of things on you. And we're going to make you better than anybody. And that's the main thing. It's just having enough faith in your quarterback to let him go out there and let him shine in the way that he's supposed to shine. And the reason that I state that this is his only shot is because if he goes out there and he stinks up the joint with a full week of practice, there's going to definitely be some conversations. There's going to be some murmurs of like, hey, what was this? What was that? Another thing, after the game, Sheduer Sanders walked into that locker room and pinned that loss on himself alone and no one else. And the team wouldn't let him do it. They looked at him and said, this is a team game. We all lost. This ain't on just you, kid. We appreciate it, man. Like, we see what you're doing. But this ain't just your fault. We got to be better as a team. And I think that Sheduer Sanders has a good chance to go out there against the Raiders and do some things. I'll definitely be watching. I will keep a close eye on that game. You can bet your bottom dollar I will definitely watch that game. I'll watch it through and through, and I'll most likely do a post-game on it and tell you how I felt about his performance. I'm a Niner fan, and I will always report on my Niners. But then again, I've always liked different players in the NFL. My favorite running back of all time is Barry Sanders, Detroit Lions. I love Barry. Barry, just, man. If you ain't never seen Barry Sanders run, please look it up. The man is insane. You know what I'm saying? My second favorite running back is Roger Craig. Why? Not just because he was a Niner, because Roger Craig is literally the blueprint for LaDainian Tomlinson, for Christian McCaffrey, for Jonathan Taylor, for Marshall Faulk. All these dudes, they came behind Roger Craig. Roger Craig is the original 1,000 guy. 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing. So I have much love for him. You know what I'm saying? But I've always liked different players on different teams. You know what I'm saying? Another dude I love, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He is a superstar. Top 5 receiver. Top 3. You know what I mean? So for me, I want Sheduer to go out, play his game, do everything that he can to keep himself even keeled, do what he needs to do. And I just need the Cleveland Browns offense to get behind him and say, hey, man, this is our guy right now. Let's see what he's got. And I'm going to go out there and try to catch everything I can that he throws my way. whether it be David Njoku or Jerry Jeudy or Cedric Tillman. Hey, we're going out here. We got to make sure this kid looks good, along with the fact that we want to win a game. We are tired of losing. If I'm not mistaken, let me take a look at it right now. I don't even know what they're on right now as far as a streak. They are on a 3-game losing streak. They won 2, lost 1. They lost 2, won 1, lost 3, won 1, lost 3. So based off of that right there, this would tell you another W is coming for the Cleveland Browns. Just saying. So my message to Sheduer Sanders and to the Browns organization is give the kid a chance. Don't shortchange him. Don't hold him back. Let him see. Just see what you got in him, man. I ain't saying this dude's going to come out there and be the next Tom Brady, but at a bare minimum, you might as well get a kid to look. Dylan Gabriel ain't looking much better. He is not. He is not a world beater. There are many throws that he has missed. I've watched many receivers on the field very frustrated because they're standing wide open and he can't hit them. Don't believe me? Go look it up. If you have NFL Sunday Ticket, go back to the Cleveland Brown games where Dylan Gabriel has started. You will see the failure. And it's nothing against Dylan Gabriel. I'm not trying to, crap on the kid. I know he's a rookie and he's got a ways to go. He's got to learn. He's got to build. But right now, from everything that you've seen in the 8 games that young man has played, it hasn't been good. Typically, you want to see a continual progression, continuous slope upward. You know what I mean? It hasn't been that way. So let him play. Let him do his thing. Give him a chance. The city will thank you for it. The fans will thank you for it. And you might save your job, Kevin Stefanski. You never know. Thank y'all for listening to me, man. I'm out.